Cataract. Cataract. What is cataract? What is the definition of cataract? We'll see etiology, pathogenesis, and classification. Everything we'll see today. The cataract. The literal meaning of cataract is waterfalls. And those who have attended the ophthalmology class will be knowing more about the cataract. So cataract is a very important topic because you'll be having the clinical cases, and also theory wise it is very important. You should know everything about the cataract. So cataract meaning is waterfalls, and the definition, we'll see what is the definition of cataract. Hello? PPT தெரியலையாடா? We'll say everything about cataract today. Mostly the classification, etiology, and pathogenesis. Okay, so what is cataract? The meaning of cataract is waterfalls. This is the literal meaning of cataract, and we'll see what is the definition of cataract. So the cataract definition is any opacification of the lens or its capsule. That is the actual definition. So whether any opacification of lens or its capsule, whether it is congenital or acquired, irrespective of the vision, whether vision is low vision or a good vision, so this is called cataract. Okay, so that is the definition of cataract. Okay, coming to lens development, usually this development starts from the I think it is echoing. Oh, it's clear now. Okay, the development embryologically, the lens development from the surface ectoderm. Okay, so during the 25 days, the optic vesicle formation occurs, and during 27 to 29 days, there is lens placode formation is there. So mostly the lens development from the surface ectoderm. So lens vesicle formation at 30 days, and lens vesicle formation is completed during 33 days. So from the primary lens fibers, the embryonic nucleus formed. Okay, that is completion of embryonic nucleus formation during 40 days, and the secondary lens fibers formation during 7th week, and also the fetal nucleus formed during 12th to 14th week. So finally the lens development from the surface ectoderm. You have to remember that. What are the functions of lens? So lens should maintain its clarity. So because of the arrangement of the lens fibers and also the absence of organelles and nucleus, the lens is clear and transparent. So that's how it is maintaining the clarity. And it also, the lens has to transmit the 80% of the rays and focus this rays on the retina. And also it has to refract the light, and this lens also helps during the accommodation by changing its shape. It is so these are all the functions of lens. So it's one is maintaining the clarity, it helps in refraction of the light, and also accommodation. So what is the refractive index of the lens? So normally the nucleus portion of the refractive index of the nucleus portion is more than the cortex. So that the refractive index of the nucleus is 1.4, and whereas the peripheral, the cortex, is 1.36. Okay, so what is the normal shape of the lens? The shape is biconvex lens. So anatomical, some congenital anomalies will be having the conical lenses and globus lenses, all these things. So normally the biconvex is the normal lens shape. So what is the dioptric power of the lens? The whole dioptric power of the eyeball is 60 diopter, whereas the lens only 15 to 16 diopter. So the other structures forming the balance, the 45 diopters by the other remaining structures. So the total refractive power of the eyeball is 60 diopter. So the normal weight of the lens during birth is 65 milligram. Around the age of 80, it becomes 255 milligram. So this is the weight of the lens. And the normal diameter adult lens, it starts from the 8.8 millimeter to 9.2 millimeter. So it is the normal equatorial diameter. And anteroposterior diameter is 5 millimeter. This is a normal thing. And what are the components of lens? Actually the lens proteins, crystallines, most of the 90% of the lens proteins are made up of crystallines. That is alpha, beta, gamma crystallines forming the 90% of lens fluorescence. The balance, the 10% formed by the water insoluble albuminoids. So coming to congenital anomalies of the lens. Here the normal lens shape is biconvex. Here you will get the conical lenticonus. Here the anterior surface of the cornea lens. Anterior surface of the lens will become conical. Anterior lenticonus and posterior lenticonus. Okay. Lens, it includes microspherophacea. So here the size will become small and the spherical. So that is microspherophacea. And coloboma, there is parts of the lens will be missing. And there is lenticonus, already told you, is anterior lenticonus and posterior lenticonus. So anterior lenticonus will be seen in the Alport syndrome and lentiglobus. And these are all congenital anomalies of the lens. And coming to etiological classification of cataract. So you know the definition of cataract, and now we'll see the etiology of the cataract. So we'll see the congenital cataract and the acquired cataract etiologies one by one. Congenital cataract. What are the etiologies for congenital cataract or pediatric cataract? So mostly this is hereditary causes, genetic causes. Mostly the syndromes includes Down syndrome, Loeys syndrome, Marfan syndrome, Stickler syndrome, and Fabry's disease. So, and the myotonic dystrophy will come under genetic causes. And mostly the maternal infections, touch infections, Toxoplasma, rubella, cytomegalovirus, and varicella, herpes infections, zoster and simplex. Okay, so these are all touch infections, maternal infections, and the placental insufficiency and maternal malnutrition. So here, so vitamin D deficiency will be causing the zonular cataract, zonular or lamellar cataract, caused by the vitamin D deficiency. So these are all causes for congenital cataract. So coming to polar cataract, this is also part of congenital cataract. Polar cataract, if it is bilateral, it is mostly familial, and this is autosomal dominant. This is polar, anterior polar and posterior polar cataract. And lamellar, this is otherwise known as zonular cataract. This is mostly autosomal dominant, and this is associated with vitamin D deficiency. So here the appearance will be central disc shape opacity in the lens and the peripheral riders. If you dilate and see, then only you will be able to see the type of cataract and congenital cataract. So you have to always dilate and see the lens during examination. So other cataract types are sutural cataract. It usually follows the suture, Y-shaped sutures anteriorly and posteriorly. And the coronary cataract, it resembles it surrounds the nucleus of the lens. So it covers the nucleus and it resembles corona. So that's why it's called as coronary cataract. Then nuclear cataract, capsular, anterior capsular, and subcapsular, anterior and posterior subcapsular, then membranous. These are all types of congenital cataract. Coming to acquired cataract, senile cataract, that is the most common cataract. Senile cataract, this is usually, it appears after the age of 40. Then it is called as senile cataract. It's mostly aging. And other causes traumatic cataract, complicated cataract. This is the important short note, complicated cataract, traumatic cataract also. That is named cataracts there following trauma and following metabolic diseases. Okay, so metabolic cataract, electric cataract, following short circuit, and radiation cataract, and toxic cataract. And here it is mostly drug-induced cataract, and then intraocular foreign body like iron and copper. All these things will be causing the cataract. So anterior subcapsular or posterior subcapsular. And other skin disease like atopic dermatitis and other syndromes, Down syndrome, Loeys syndrome, all these things will come under acquired cataract. So senile cataract, first we'll see senile cataract. Senile cataract, here the morphological classification will be, so normally we'll usually call it as a cortical cataract, nuclear cataract, and subcapsular. These are all major classification. So cortical cataract, mostly the classification starts with the cortex of the lens. Okay, so cortical cataract, here there are two forms, cuneiform and cupuliform. So the cuneiform is the most common type. Cupuliform type, there is a disc-shaped opacity present in the center part of the posterior, mostly the posterior subcapsular area. That is the cupuliform. So cuneiform is the most common type of cortical cataract. Next, nuclear cataract. Nuclear cataract usually starts early, around the age of 40 years. Usually it is slow in progress, and most of the times it will not mature. And subcapsular, there is anterior subcapsular and posterior subcapsular. Mostly the posterior subcapsular caused by the steroids. Most of the steroid, systemic steroid intake, chronic intake will cause posterior subcapsular cataract. And also complicated cataract will come under this group. And acquired cataract, first we have seen the senile cataract. This is the most common type of cataract. When you say senile cataract, you should know the pre-senile cataract. What are the causes for pre-senile cataract? The causes are metabolic causes and trauma. Trauma will occur at any age group. So you can say pre-senile cataract causes, trauma you can say, and also metabolic causes like diabetes mellitus, hypoparathyroidism, and myotonic dystrophy and hypoglycemia. So these are all causes you can say for pre-senile cataract. So diabetes, there is a named cataract, snowflake cataract, diabetes mellitus, and myotonic dystrophy is Christmas tree appearance. Okay, so these are all the cataract will come under metabolic cataract. Okay, trauma, following trauma depends upon the severity of injury, whether it is open globe injury or closed globe injury, whether it is blunt injury is otherwise known as open closed globe injury. Closed globe injury is blunt injury, and penetrating perforating injuries will come under open globe injury. Okay, so depends upon the seriousness, severity of injury, you will get cataract, traumatic cataract. It can form within 24 hours to within a week. So the name of cataract in trauma, following trauma, is rosette cataract. Rosette. It resembles the flower petal, so that's why it's called as a rosette cataract. And occupational hazards like glass blowers following radiation, UV ray exposure, UV rays, A and B exposure, and electrocution. So all these things will cause cataract. And drug induced mostly, so you remember A, B, C. So A for acetylcholinesterase, mostly myotics will come under this group. A. B is busulfan. C is corticosteroids and mostly systemic steroid, and chlorpromazine and chloroquine. So A, B, C, you remember that. So these are all the drugs causing cataract, and also anti-tuberculous drugs and intraocular foreign bodies are in the metals like copper metabolism defect in Wilson's disease. The name of the cataract is sunflower cataract in Wilson's disease. And these are all the drugs causing cataract, drug-induced cataract. Mostly it produces posterior subcapsular cataract. Okay, coming to complicated cataract, this is important short note. And you should know, when you say complicated cataract, you should know the causes and two important clinical finding. Okay, so the causes are most common causes are chronic uveitis. So uveitis is anterior uveitis and posterior uveitis. Okay, uveitis is iridocyclitis and posterior choroiditis. So all these things will come under uveitis. So chronic uveitis will be the most common cause. Next, high myopia or degenerative myopia or pathological myopia. When the refractive error is more than 6 diopter, it is called as high myopia or pathological myopia. And then retinitis pigmentosa, then retinal detachment. So all these things will come and will be causing complicated cataract. So there are two important clinical findings you should remember. So the polychromatic leisure and breadcrumb appearance. Polychromatic leisure and breadcrumb appearance. These are all two important findings in the complicated cataract. Okay, you should know the causes for complicated cataract and these two important points. Okay, now coming to drug-induced cataract. So you know ABC, that is A is for anti-cholinesterase. Pilocarpine will come under this group, and B is busulfan, and C corticosteroid, systemic, most of the time systemic steroids, and also periocular steroid injection. So that will give rise to cataract. But topical steroids mostly will cause open angle glaucoma. Okay, so steroids, then myotics, then phenothiazines, carbamazepine will come under this group. Chlorpromazine will come under this group. Statins mostly used in the hypercholesterolemia drugs. Statins, rosuvastatin, all these things. Then amiodarone. So all these drugs will cause cataract. So you should elicit the treatment history while taking history in cataract patients. So infrared radiation. This is glass blowers cataract. This is true exfoliation. So it is asked in the MCQ also. True exfoliation means glass blowers. There is a pseudo exfoliation is there. That is different entity. And here it is due to intense heat over time. It produces the peeling of the anterior lens capsule, producing the true exfoliation of the cataract. Okay, true exfoliation. This is glass blowers cataract. Here you can see the diabetic mellitus. I already told you this is a snowflake cataract. The name is snowflake cataract. And the myotonic dystrophy, the name of the cataract is Christmas tree appearance, Christmas tree cataract. And this is injury, complicated cataract. Sorry, this is traumatic cataract. So the name of the cataract in trauma, following trauma, is rosette shaped cataract. Here it resembles flower petals. Okay, so this cataract is a rosette cataract. You can say whether it is open globe injury or penetrating closed globe injury, the cataract will be formed and named as rosette cataract. And here you can see the glass blowers cataract. This is a true exfoliation. And this one, the last one is glaucom flecken. That is, what is glaucom flecken? This is present. This is it's a previous evidence of acute attack of angle closure glaucoma. Okay, this is nothing but it is epithelial cell necrosis producing the focal anterior subcapsular opacification. So that is glaucom flecken. It is also one of the cause for complicated cataract. So other causes skin disease like atopic dermatitis. Here the name of the cataract you should remember is shield cataract. So this is anterior present, the opacification present in the anterior subcapsular region. So this is atopic dermatitis and shield cataract, we should remember. And siderosis bulbae, this is a condition, it's due to retained intraocular foreign body, intraocular iron foreign body. So following that, there is deposition of the iron in the trabecular meshwork and lens epithelium and iris. So all these things. So the discoloration of the lens is due to deposition of the iron pigments over the anterior subcapsular area. So this is retained intraocular iron foreign body is producing the cataract here. Coming to morphological classification, so the capsular cataract, subcapsular cataract, and nuclear cataract, and polar cataract. So all these things we have seen one by one. So what are the risk factors for senile cataract? What are the risk factors for age-related cataract? So starting from the smoking, low socioeconomic, they prone for UV exposure, UV light exposure, and cooking smoke, and smoking, and diarrhea, dehydration. Here dehydration, and UVA radiation, UVA and B rays, and then hypertension, diabetes. These are metabolic causes like diabetes, and the glaucoma, steroids, myopia, the complicated cataract by myopia, then renal failure. So all these things will be risk factors for senile cataract. And coming to stages of cataract, which is the earliest stage of cataract. So earliest stage is a lamellar separation. All of you should remember this is very important part. Lamellar separation is the earliest stage of the cataract. So lamellar separation, then incipient stage, immature stage, then intumescent stage. This intumescent stage here it is very important because here the cataract stage is phacomorphic. It will occur during the immature stage. This is intumescent stage, immature. Phacomorphic stage, phacomorphic glaucoma it can produce. Okay, then next is mature stage, then hypermature. Hypermature stage, if it is not treated properly at this stage, it will. These are all sequelae. So sequelae of hypermature stage is Marga green. It can either go for Marga green cataract or sclerotic cataract. Okay, so these are all sequelae of hypermature stage. So coming to lamellar separation, here it is due to accumulation of fluid. There you can see the demarcation of the lens fibers, lens arrangements. You can see it's due to the accumulation of the fluid. So this is the earliest stage. Here the patient will not be having any complaints, any symptoms will not be there. So but here what happens is the refractive index of the cortex is started increasing. So normally the refractive index of the nucleus will be more than the cortex, but here after lamellar separation, the refractive index of the cortex is started increasing. So the pupillary area will appear, instead of black color, it will appear gray. So what is the cause for this is it's due to increased refractive index, also scattering of light, irregular refraction. So also causes this. But the patient will not be having any symptom at this stage. Lamellar separation is the earliest stage. Next is the incipient stage. Here the cataract, here the opacities forms in the shape of shaped opacities. Usually appears in the in front or behind the nucleus. Usually it appears in the cortex. So in between the fibers will be clear lens fibers will be there, and here the patient sometimes will be having the vision, double vision or polyopia, so multiple vision, multiple images. So double images or multiple images will be there, and the patient will be having defective blurred vision, defective vision. So this is the stage the patient will be having the symptom. So this is incipient stage. Immature stage, here what happens, so normally we see the patient during the immature stage. So the early stages the patient will not be coming to the hospital. Immature stage, here the opacification gradually increases, but still there is a few clear lens fibers will be there, so the light can pass through so that's why iris shadow is formed. So here because of the presence of the clear lens fibers, the light rays can pass through that and forming the iris shadow over the clear lens fibers. So that's why iris shadow formed. So this is the important difference between differentiating point between immature cataract and mature cataract. The intumescent stage usually occurs this stage, immature stage. Here, what happens is the entire lens, the anteroposterior swells up because of the accumulation of the fluid, and so the iris will be pushed forwards. So the anterior chamber is between the iris and cornea. So this anterior chamber will become shallow, so that the IOP, intraocular pressure, will be raised. So what will happen? The patient will be having pain. So if the patient comes to clinic at this stage, what you have to do is you have to reduce the IOP and proceed with the surgery. So you have to reduce the IOP, that is more important. So this is phacomorphic glaucoma stage. So this is cataract with immature cataract with the phacomorphic glaucoma. So you have to reduce the IOP and do the cataract surgery later. This is intumescent stage. Then see mature stage. So mature stage, here all the lens fibers are opacified. There is no clear lens fibers. So that's why the iris shadow, there is no iris shadow because of the whole of the lens is opacified here, and here, so that's why the vision also reduced. Vision also reduced to hand movements, perception of PL, sometimes CF, that is counting of fingers close to the face. Okay, so all this the vision reduction of vision is will happen in the mature cataract. So if in immature cataract, the vision will be ranging from 618 to 660. So that is the immature cataract vision. So mature cataract, the vision may be 660. You can say start from 660 to perception of light. So so based on the visual acuity also you can differentiate mature and immature cataract. And also iris shadow and also color of the lens. So color of the lens and the immature will be grayish white, but here mature, this is pearly white. Okay. So based on the three findings, you can differentiate mature from immature cataract. So this is a hypermature stage. Here you can see the color of the lens milky white here, and also the anterior capsule becomes thickened and calcified. So calcified anterior capsule seen in the sclerotic. This is actually sclerotic type of hypermature stage. Okay, and also the another sequelae, Marga green type. Here, this hypermature, it will occur during hypermature stage. Here, the cortex becomes liquefied and the nucleus, and that's why the nucleus drops. The nucleus becomes shrunken and drops to the bottom of the lens. In the next picture, you can see that clearly. So here you can see this is a milky cortex, liquefied cortex, and you can see the superior border of the nucleus. So that is shrunken nucleus. That's into at the bottom of the lens. Okay, this is a phacolytic stage of Marga green type. Marga green phacolytic glaucoma. This is open angle glaucoma. Okay, suppose the patient comes at this stage with the increased IOP, what you have to do is you have to reduce the IOP with the help of systemic drugs like carbonic anhydrase drugs, and topical timolol can be given, and also this is beta blocker, topical timolol, so 0.5%, and systemically you can give mannitol, 20% mannitol also you can give. So by reducing the IOP, after reducing the IOP, you can proceed with the cataract surgery. So now we have seen the stages of cataract. There is a grading. If you want to grade the cataract, there is classifications available. Lens opacities classification system. So the grading starts from the grade 1 to grade 6. So it is mainly useful for the grading of the cortical cataract and nuclear cataract. Mostly posterior subcapsular cataract you will see with the help of slit lamp you can find out easily. But other gradings, so you should know mainly the nuclear color grading you should know, that is more important. And we have seen the senile cataract, the causes already we have seen, metabolic, all the causes we have seen already. And coming to cortical cataract usually here the classification starts in the anterior cortex or posterior cortex or equatorial cortex. So pre-equatorial region is that is the most active part of the capsule, and from there on the lens fiber starts. And so the cortical cataract usually starts the anterior cortex or posterior cortex, and there are two types. Already I have told you, cuneiform and cupliform. So cuneiform is the most common type, and here the cataract usually starts as opacities, cleft-like opacities will be formed in between the normal lens fibers. The later, as it progresses, it becomes the wedge-shaped radial opacities. And usually, when you examine, when the patient comes to clinic, you have to dilate the patient and see with the help of slit lamp. Then only you can find out the earliest stage of cortical cataract. So usually the most commonly involved area is the infronasal quadrant of the lens. So you have to dilate and see for any cataract changes. Okay. So here the patient will be having the glare. It is due to the scattering of the light. The patient will be complaining of glaring, blurred vision, all these things during this cortical cataract early stages. And here you can see the wedge-shaped opacities and the base towards periphery and apex towards the pupillary region. This is cortical cataract. This earliest stage. Infronasal quadrant is the first quadrant to be involved. So the next anterior subcapsular cataract. Here the opacity is situated just behind the lens capsule, anterior and posterior lens capsule. Okay, just behind the lens capsule. And posterior subcapsular, mostly the steroid-induced cataract will come under this group. And here this subcapsular area, so cataract opacities, the plaque-like opacities will be formed in the posterior subcapsular area, mostly at the center of the capsule, center of the area. So that's why the early stages itself, the patient will be having the difficulty and defective vision and glaring, everything. The early stage of the posterior subcapsular cataract, the patient will be having. So this type of cataract should be operated early. So coming to nuclear cataract, here you should know the color grading, that's more important. Here the nuclear cataract, mostly the sclerosis usually it's a slow progressive one. Here the cataract starts at the lens nucleus part, and here as cataract progresses, the myopia, so index myopia will be formed. So because of that, usually the nuclear cataract forms around the age of 40 years. So mostly the presbyopic individual will need glasses for reading near vision. But in case of nuclear cataract with presbyopic individual, what happens is they can read without spectacles. So that's why this is called second sight. So nuclear cataract with presbyopic individual will be having the second sight. And color grading starting from the grade 1 to grade 5. This is more important. So nuclear color grading is the grade 1 is greenish yellow, grade 2 is yellow, third one is amber color, then grade 4 is brown or cataracta brunescens, and grade 5 is black, cataracta nigra. So these 5 grades you should remember: green, yellow, amber, brown and black. So grade 5 cataract is very difficult to operate, so you have to advise the patient always should be operated between grade 3 and grade 4. So otherwise the grade 5, what happens, very difficult, during cataract surgery it will damage the endothelium, corneal endothelium. That's why you have to always advise the patient to go for surgery in the early stages itself. So this is nuclear cataract. It usually starts at the nucleus. The cataract formation starts at the nucleus center part, and this is usually grows very slowly. And most of the times this nuclear cataract will not mature. Now we'll see about the congenital cataract. And congenital cataract, mostly the incidence is 3 in 10,000 live births. So most of the 2/3 of the cataract are mostly bilateral. So we'll see the causes of congenital cataract we have seen already. So the causes, the important causes I should remember: maternal malnutrition, maternal infections, starch infections, then placental insufficiency, then genetic causes. And maternal infections, you should remember TARCH, Toxoplasmosis rubella, cytomegalovirus, and simplex, hypersimplex infections. Then other syndromes: Down syndrome, Lowe syndrome, Stickler syndrome. Then metabolic causes like galactosemia. So galactosemia, the name of the cataract in galactosemia is the oil droplet cataract in galactosemia. So these are all the causes for congenital cataract. So what is the morphology of congenital cataracts? It's mostly resemble adult cataract, but here few cataracts are different from adult. So mostly the capsular, nuclear, capsular, anterior capsular, posterior capsular, and nuclear. Then polar, anterior polar, posterior polar, all these things are same, but otherwise few cataract types are different from adult cataract. So this is lamellar cataract. This is otherwise known as zonular cataract. Zonular. This is associated with vitamin D deficiency, and this is autosomal dominant. And here the central disc-like opacity will be there, and the peripherally there is rider-like opacities will be there. So this is usually associated with the rubella infection, and the zonular cataract mostly vitamin D deficiency, associated with vitamin D deficiency. This is coronary cataract. Coronary cataract, here usually the opacity appears in the deep cortex, and usually it surrounds the nuclear area, so it looks like a crown. So that's why it is called as a coronary cataract. And sutural cataract, usually the sutures anteriorly, the Y-shaped sutures anteriorly and posteriorly. So here the cataract opacification follows the sutures. So this is sutural cataract. And blue dot, this is the most common type of cataract, most common type of congenital cataract, and this is cataracta punctata caeruleus, and this is here, this is in between the blue dots, in between the area will be clear, so that's why this is stationary. So this most of the time it will not affect the vision, so you can wait, and observation is the policy here. This is the most common type of cataract, blue dot cataract. Then polar, anterior polar, posterior polar. This is pyramidal cataract. This is pyramidal. This is because this cataract is raised above the surface. So this is pyramidal cataract. Pyramidal polar cataract. Posterior polar cataract. So this posterior polar cataract, and here it is usually associated with persistent hyaloid remnants. So here in the posterior you can see the persistent posterior hyaloid artery, the remnant will be this is attached to that. So Mittendorf dots. So this is posterior polar cataract. So galactosemia, already told you, this is oil droplet cataract. So galactosemia is one of the metabolic causes for congenital cataract. So membranous cataract, here it is the lens mat is sandwiched between the anterior and posterior capsule. So this is membranous, only you can see the only membrane between the anterior and posterior capsule. This is membranous cataract. And coming to pathogenesis, so biochemically there are three processes involved in the cataract formation. That is hydration, then denaturation of lens protein, and then slow sclerosis. So when these all three process, when the hydration is predominant, the first hydration is predominant, what will happen? That will result in cortical cataract. So cortical cataract will be having the hydration process most predominantly, and when the slow sclerosis will be more predominant, then that will go for nuclear or hard cataract. Okay, these are all biochemical process. And also there is degeneration and opacification of formed lens fibers, formation of aberrant lens fibers, and also deposition of other materials, other toxic materials, other drugs also. So all these things will be causing the pathogenesis for the complicated cataract, and also other subcapsular cataract. And mostly posterior subcapsular cataract, you will be having the formation of aberrant lens fibers. And because mostly the active part is pregerminal anterior pregerminal area. So in posterior subcapsular cataract, the aberrant lens fibers will be formed in the posterior subcapsular area. Okay, so these are all the pathogenesis for the cataract formation. This is homework for you. What is one of you identify this slide? And what is the name and what are the causes?
Rosette cataract.
Yes, very good, very good. This is rosette cataract. It resembles a flower petal. Yes. What is the cause?
Blunt injury.
Yes, very good. Blunt injury. Otherwise, you can call it as a closed globe injury. Blunt injury or closed globe injury. Very good. Next. What is this? I have shown this picture already. This is one of the stage of cataract.
Morganian cataract.
Yes, Morganian cataract. What type of glaucoma it will cause? This is a hypermature cataract sequelae, phacolytic glaucoma. Is it open angle or closed angle?
Open angle.
Yes, open angle. How here IOP is raised? What is the cause?
Those lens proteins will block the trabecular meshwork.
Yes, very good, very good. Glaucoma. Okay, so there's one more glaucoma will occur during the stage of cataract. What is the other glaucoma?
Phacomorphic.
Yes, phacomorphic. What is the cause there?
Intumescent cataract.
Intumescent.
There it is closed angle. Closed
Yes.
angle glaucoma.
Yes, phacomorphic closed angle glaucoma. Very good, very good. So that's the class is over. Next class will be covered the investigation and treatment. Okay. You have any doubt?